I've been sitting on the idea for this video for a while now. The premise of it is simple enough. I thought it would be pretty cool to put together two of my favourite things, running and making, and try to tell a bit of a story along the way. And when the opportunity presented itself to design and make a piece for Melbourne Design Week 2023, I thought this would be perfect. So out I went for a run, picking up pieces of scrap and pallet wood along the way to then see what can be made at the end. I set off early in the morning to go pallet hunting around my local industrial area, choosing Easter Monday because I knew nobody would be around. Not because I was doing anything wrong, of course, the wood I was picking up was waste after all, but because I really didn't fancy having to explain to people why I was going through their bins. Originally, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to find enough timber for the project, but it wasn't long after I started stretching that I saw a couple of discarded tree stakes right next to where I parked that I realised this might be a shorter run than I originally thought. Once I got moving proper, that thought really proved true. It was a certifiable pallet wasteland out there. Everywhere I looked, there were pallets stacked up behind fences and in dumpsters and discarded in all sorts of nooks and crannies in the buildings. Anywhere a piece of waste timber could be jammed, it pretty well had been. The real reason this video has taken me so long to make is because I wanted it to be more than just a video about me making a cool bench from recycled timber. I wanted to share a bit about my views on the consumption habits that have developed into what we see in 2025. We see it all the time around us. News about how the equivalent of a garbage truck full of clothing hits landfill every second, paired with vision from Chile's Atacama Desert or the beaches of Ghana, piled high with used, barely used or even unworn items of fast fashion. Or looking closer to home and how almost 50,000 tonnes of furniture a year is thrown away in metropolitan Sydney, contributing to Sydney's landfills forecasted to be full by 2030. And as these products, unable to be recycled as they are made of synthetic and composite materials, sit in landfill wasting away, they break down into smaller and smaller pieces of plastic, which leach into the surrounding environment via the wind and waterways, leading to levels of pollution that, quite frankly, we still don't understand the full impacts of. And that is just looking at the end of life of these products, not considering the thousands of litres of water and chemicals and tonnes of carbon pumped into the atmosphere in the production and transport of these items. The point is, these levels of consumption are completely unsustainable. Findings from the IPCC's most recent report on the state of the climate have found that every ecosystem on Earth has started to be impacted by climate change. The lengths to which these ecosystems will be pushed is not yet defined, but the next decade is critical. So yes, this is a video about me making a cool bench from recycled timber, but it's also a video about shifting the way we think about consumption and waste. Now, I am far from perfect at this myself, but if there's one thing you take away from watching this video, it's that we all need to use less and do more with what we have. To some, the pallet timber I used to make the Unwasted bench, having served its primary purpose of being a vessel for other goods, is now junk. To be fair, some people might look at this bench and think it's still junk, but at least it's not rotting away in landfill.